Welcome to Spoken Like a True Goddess podcast, a space curated for goddesses worldwide. The woman who's strong on the inside, which affords her to be soft, warm, and alluring on the outside. The woman who uses power sourced from above to create the life she wants because she's capable and deserving. So relax, open your minds and your hearts, and let's have some much needed girl talk. I'm your host, Shekinah, and this is Spoken Like a True Goddess podcast. Hey y'all, it's Shekinah with Spoken Like a True Goddess podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope everyone's doing well, feeling great. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I honestly cannot believe how well this series is doing so far. I was very apprehensive about even doing this series because I felt like it's so niche and that so many people wouldn't be able to relate to it. I was very apprehensive about even doing it. And I mean, the amount of women who have been able to relate to this, who have been reaching out to me, who's been liking, sharing, reposting it. I mean, I'm just overwhelmed with joy. And I'm so happy that you all are able to find value in it. To the women who are younger than I am in their 20s and have found this content, I mean, I have such a soft spot for you in my heart, and you have like your infant children. I've been there. My heart goes out to you. I'm just sending everyone love and light. And I think it's important that we talk about these things because, like I said, I didn't know that so many people could relate to, being a single mom and just wanting to do better. And I'm glad that I was able to share my story and what I've done. And I just hope that is able to help someone else. So thank y'all. And if you can, just like and comment on whichever platform you're listening from. I really appreciate it. So part 3 of our Single Mom Soft Life series is men. And I purposely put this at the end because, like I was saying last week, I think it's very important to work on your mindset and your self-worth and get your money in order before you put your effort and energy into dating, so you're not put into vulnerable situations for you and your children. I just want to share things that I've done and I'm currently doing because I'm not married, but I am dating purposely for marriage. Before we get into this, I want you to forget everything that you've learned about sprinkle dating, okay? Everything that you've learned about being a city girl and finessing men and all that stuff, just erase it out your mind and have an open mind and an open heart when we get into this episode, okay? Now, I'm all for dating with standards and having standards while you're dating, but that sprinkle advice is dangerously misleading. And it's also not practical to build a foundation for a healthy and lasting relationship. And that's what we want to focus on as moms. We are already limited in our time and energy. So if we're going out dating, we need to do it purposefully and we need to do it in a way that makes the most sense, okay? There are still good men out there, and there are still men who value family, and there are men who can benefit from having a good woman in his life. Those men, they have enough self-esteem to not fall for that sprinkle or finesse type of things. You don't want to connect yourself with men who you can manipulate and trick because think about it in the long run. These are men that you're going to have leading your family. And who wants to be with a man that's so easily tricked and has such low self-esteem? That's not going to work. You want to be honest and upfront on your dating intentions and your desires while dating. Because the things that you should be looking for in men with a partner shouldn't be something that someone can fake for a long time, anyways. You don't want to waste your time playing all these games and your energy with things like that because you want to build a lasting relationship with someone. So you want to be honest and upfront about your desires and your situation. I want you to sit down and really think about what you need in a partner. Be very, very honest with yourself about what exactly you need to feel safe and secure in partnership with a man. And when you sit and you think about that or you make your list, don't put money on the list. Yes, we all know that money is important. Men need money to properly lead families. We know that. And that's why in the earlier episodes, I was saying that it is so important to invest in yourself and in your career because once you do that, you'll upgrade your lifestyle and your environment that you'll naturally be around men who are financially stable. And then from there, you have your picking of who works better for your life and who you actually like and who you actually want to be with. You're not leading with money. You want to really focus on how would this person make you feel? You want to reflect on knowing yourself, your needs, your wants, and your desires, and how that would look in partnership with someone else. For example, with me, I need someone who's just rock solid. Like, I can't have someone whose emotions are up and down, or, today is this, tomorrow is that. Like, I need someone who's very constant and steady. Like, my man has to be a rock, okay? That's very important to me. Like, I know that's not something that I can waver on. Obviously, I have many other things, but that's just an example. Focus more on how they make you feel or what you would need in someone to make you feel secure. Someone who's patient, someone of good character, someone of good integrity, someone who's good with children, a man who's a good leader, a man who's intelligent, a man who has vision. So you want to think on those things that someone can't fake. You can't fake being of good character. You can't fake having integrity, and that's what you want to focus on while you're dating. Men like that make good husbands. They make good fathers. Men who know how to commit and stick to something. Men who are educated. Men who just have that drive, men who don't crumble under pressure. So those are the things you want to focus on when you're making your list. You want to focus on those things that money can't buy. If he had money, if he didn't have money, he'll still be like this in his heart. Men who have relation with God, men who, when things get tough, they have a foundation with God and they know how to pick themselves back up without going out and getting other women or abusing drugs and alcohol or something ridiculous like that. So you want to be very honest with yourself about what you need and very honest about how a man could fit into your life with what he can offer. Now, us as moms, we have to go about dating very differently than women who don't have children. You have to be very intentional when you're dating so you're not wasting your time and your energy on situations that's not going to go anywhere. When you're dating, you want to date like you're looking for a CEO of your family because it is that serious. Family structure is very important. And although we may not have the traditional family structure where the biological dad is in the home with the kids, the next go around, we should still go about it in a way where we can provide stability and balance in our homes. We want to be intentional on how we go about dating. We want to be intentional on the type of men we're letting into our space. And we want to make sure that we're giving our energy and our time to men who are also looking for committed situations, who are looking for marriage, who are looking for a wife. We don't want to spend so much time with men who are unsure because it's a waste of time, honestly. While we're dating, there is a certain way we have to go about dating. It's not just us, our children are also involved in this process. So you want to protect your children from the dating process. As we all know, dating can be a hot mess. So you don't want to bring your children into the ups and downs that come with that. Men will do anything for coochie, excuse my language, including involving your children because they know we love our kids, right? So you just want to gatekeep your children. You want to keep that part of your life very sacred, very special, and not let them be so easily accessible to men. Be clear on what his intentions are for you. Be clear on what his plan and his vision is for you before you include your children. Don't let these men meet your kids. And I know that sometimes with dating, when we having our children, we have issues with childcare and our time. We're trying to balance everything. You want to just let him lead in that area. And what I mean by that is if he's a responsible man, if he has children of his own, follow his lead. When he feels comfortable to introduce you to his children, then that's a good telltale. Okay, fine. Maybe we're progressing and we're going in this direction. So maybe now is a good time to meet my children. But if he's meeting your children out of convenience because you don't have childcare, or he just wants to come over real quick and your kids are home, that's not how you want to go about that. You want to make sure that you're allowing your children to see you in respectable situations. Unfortunately, men, they come and go, but our children's respect for us has to last a lifetime. So you don't want your children to see different men in and out of your life, different men coming over, sitting on the couch, eating their snacks. I was getting to know this one guy, and I took some time after I had my son to start dating again. I didn't start dating till around 2 or 3 years just because I was getting myself in order. But I was at a point where I'm like, okay, I think it's time for me to start dating again. So I meet this guy, and a day or so after we met, he was planning a date for us. Okay. And when he's done planning the date, it was in the evening. He's like, oh, can I just come over? I just want to see you. I just want to see you. I'm like, well, no, like my son is asleep. I wouldn't be able to see you. Like my son is here. And he was so adamant about coming to see me. And I'm like, we're going to see each other tomorrow. So what is the big deal? And he's like, oh, I mean, well, your boy is asleep, as if that was supposed to give me some type of peace, which it did not. But that's the point. And obviously, things didn't go very far with him because he didn't have very good intentions for me in the first place. There has to be a process for dating, and things have to be in order. A man coming over your house, whether your children are asleep or not, is not a good idea. You want to really gatekeep your children's space. We're women, so our radar for protection and safety is already a little off. So we want to make sure that some things are non-negotiable. Strange men should not be coming over our house, whether our kids are asleep or not asleep. Personally, I'm not letting a man over my house at all, whether my kids are there or not there. But obviously, you're grown, you do what you want to do, but you just want to keep that space sacred for your children. That should be earned. If men want to come in your life, that should be earned. Them coming into the place where your children sleep and lay their head, that should not be taken lightly. And you don't want to sell yourself short either. Don't just let men come into your life and F on you with no investment or no commitment to you and your household. You only want to date men who are impactful and intentional. So, men who want to help you and want to make your life simpler and want to make your life easier and want a future with you, not men who are just coming around for a quick and fun time. When you're dating, especially since how we have to go about dating is different than traditional dating, we have to be careful not to let men take so much energy from us and out of our home. Our energy and our time should go into our home first. If they're coming in, they need to be coming to make a situation better. They need to be coming in with more of a partnership mindset, not a take, take, take mindset. Wallow from Million Dollar Worth of Game, he told a really funny, or he was like giving game on a great date. And I loved it. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about because this is an example of a man coming into your life and investing into your life and your household versus being with a man who's just taking. So with his dating story, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but basically with the dating story, he was telling or giving people game on like a perfect date. He was like, you go with your girl and you take her to the grocery store and you grab like two carts and you like, oh yeah, go crazy, fill it up and have her get everything she needs. And then he was like, give her your Amex when y'all in line and let her pay for all the stuff. And after that, go to the gas station, fill her tank up with the best gas. And he was like, then take her to Target because women love Target and just tell her to go crazy in Target and then go get her car detailed. He was like, then you take her home. And then for the next couple of weeks, she's thinking about you. When she go and she cooks, she's thinking about you. When she lotioning up, she thinking about you because you done bought all this stuff. And it was funny how he told it. Obviously, he's like a very funny guy. But that is an example of a guy coming into your life and making things easier. Like he's investing into your everyday. So even when he's not there, when he's not around, he pours something in your life where it's like you can still use it. You can still benefit from it. He's doing something, he's taking a load off of you. When we're dating, we want to be mindful of this because sometimes we can get caught up in this dating cycle where we can even go on exhilarating dates. A guy could come and take us, to the nicest steakhouse in the city, and he could take us to sporting events, and he could take us to concerts and doing all these things. And yes, it's fun, but after a while, you have to understand that he's doing this for himself. He's going to a steakhouse and he would like someone to accompany him to a steakhouse. He's going to a sporting event and he will like a nice woman to be there with him. He's going to a concert and he will like a date to this concert. It's very independent of you and what you have going on. And as mothers, when we're not at home, we're being taken away from our household. When we go on dates, we have to find childcare. Our routine gets thrown off a little bit. We're being taken outside of our home. And that's why you want to be very intentional because imagine dating someone like this for a year. So for a whole year, even if he's like, that's a good, kind guy, like that's nice that he wants to do nice things and wants you to go with him. That's not a bad thing, but you have to date differently as a mother. Imagine for a year, you're just doing all these things. He's flying you here. He's taking you there. He's doing this. In that time, it's taking time and energy away from your children. Although, yes, you're a woman, you deserve to do nice and fun things as well. But with that, it has to be some balance of him also pouring back into your home. What is he doing? How is he of service when you guys aren't on these fun days? When you guys aren't out of town? How is he helping you? How is he pouring back into your life? There comes a certain responsibility dating a woman with children. And if a man wants to come into a life of a woman who has children, things have to be a little differently. Like you have to be more of service and help than just taking. Let's say you got a flat tire. Is he going to be the first person that you can call? Let's say you fall short on a bill. Is he going to be the first person that you can call? Or is he just a fun time guy? Is he just the guy, okay, yeah, if you want to go do something fun that includes him, which is fun for him too, then yeah, he'll be there. But when it's something that you need independently of him, when you need to flow for your life and make your life of ease, is he going to be there? And that's what you have to think about with dating. You don't want to waste too much time on just the fun guys, the guys who are professional boyfriends and the guys who are professional daters, and they know how to show you a great time with some dates. They know how to wine and dine. But when it gets down to it, they're not good partners. They're selfish. They're not men who feel comfortable giving you something or doing something for you that does not include them. I remember way before I even thought about children, I was dating a guy and he was so fun. Like he was the funnest guy ever. Like we had so much fun together and he was so generous. He was so nice. And we didn't live in the same city. So every weekend I'm going to where he was or he coming to where I was or we was going someplace else. Like we just had a lot of fun together. And at this time, I was living in Vegas. So when he would fly into Vegas, he would stop at Caesars, go to Louboutin, buy me shoes, and be like, oh, okay, meet me here when you get off of work, and just have gifts and shoes and all these other things for me. Like he was very generous and very fun. He invested in real estate. He like bought fixer uppers. So he would buy like abandoned homes for very cheap, $5,000, $7,000, auction style type homes, and he would fix them up. So he was very generous, like I said. And if you're buying Louboutin shoes and handbags, and we're going on vacations and we're flying here and there, that adds up. So I asked him, if you're able to do this, can you help me with getting like one of the abandoned homes to fix up and things like that? I'm thinking if he can do all of this and he's willing to do this for me, then if he buys me a piece of real estate, that will really set me up, right? If he's spending the money anyways. And when I tell you, he was not interested in doing that at all. And that's the thing sometimes with men, they'll help you or they'll be generous when it involves them, but when it's something that can have you standing independent of them, they're not really interested. Only if they don't have pure intentions for you. So you just want to be smart. You just want to be wise. You want to use discernment when you're dating. And just make sure you're not wasting your time and taking your time and your energy out of your home with men who do not have long-term intentions for you. Time is going to be your best friend while you're dating. Take your time. Be extremely patient and vet these men very well. You want to make sure that whoever you're bringing around, your children, whoever you're allowing into your space is safe. So when I say vet well, you want to make sure that you're asking good questions. When you're dating, don't just date for the heck of it. Don't just date and go out for a good time. Treat it as an interview process. Now, when I say interview process, you don't want to be so uptight and have a list of questions and unpleasant about it, but you want to make sure you're asking those questions to see where his heart is, where his mind is. Does he have children? Have he been married before? Is he divorced or just separated? Is he looking to get married again, or is he so scarred from his previous relationship that he's not really looking to get married again? Is he happy with his job and his money situation now? Does he have the emotional capacity to be with a woman right now? How does he feel about being a stepfather or dating a woman with kids? You want to make sure that you're asking these questions and not just taking a relaxed approach to dating. It's nothing worse than going through a heartbreak when you got to take care of your kids. Like, it's honestly nothing worse. You're heartbroken, you can't get out of bed, you're crying, and your kids want pancakes. Like, that is absolutely the worst feeling. And no, we cannot protect ourselves in every way from heartbreak, but we can vet better so we are not putting ourselves in situations with men who are not looking for something serious. Also, I had to say this. This has really been on my heart when I decided I wanted to talk about dating as a single mom. We have to protect our children from evil, predatory men. Not everyone has clear intentions when it comes to children. So you want to make sure you're using your discernment. You want to be praying. You want to be asking God for wisdom and guidance, who he wants in you all's life. You don't want to go about this in a thirsty manner. You don't want to be vulnerable and moving too fast that you put you and your children in situations. Okay? So that's very important. Protecting our children, making sure the men that are coming into our space are well vetted. Not only do you want to ask those questions, not only do you want to pray and fast before you bring these people into your life and really get a clear understanding of what's going on, but also it's very easy to obtain divorce decrees. A lot of information is public records. It's very easy to go to the county you're in or a Google search but whatever you have to do, you want to make sure on your end you've done everything that you could do. And like I said earlier, people cannot pretend forever. So take your time, pray, use your discernment, use your intuition before you allow men into you and your children's life. You want to keep your standards and your self-worth high. You have the power to define your own worth. I know we live in a time where content is everywhere, and I myself run across negative content concerning single mothers. But honestly, you don't want to feed into the negativity. We live in a different era now, and we have the power to live a good life while raising our children. This does not have to be a Brenda's got a baby story. Okay. So you don't have to feed into the negativity around single mothers. You define the worth for yourself and you keep your standards high. Take inventory of your value as a woman and as a mom. Any man will be lucky to have you. And I'm not saying that lightly or I'm not saying that generally. Any woman who's researching or listening to podcasts or gaining information on how to be a better woman and a better mother is a good woman. So any man will be lucky to have a woman like you. And also, this gives him a preview of the type of woman and mother you will be. You have children, so you're physically able to have children. You're fertile and you're able to have children. Any man who values family would appreciate that. You're responsible. You've learned how to balance caring for other people and caring for yourself. You know how to run a house properly, what makes you a good wife and a good woman. These are all qualities that any man who values family and who values women will appreciate. So you want to keep that in mind. You want to keep that in mind when you're taking inventory of your self worth. It's okay that you married wrong or made it wrong. That doesn't define you. You can still create a family of your dreams. I don't care if your baby daddy is the president of the Goofies. You still need to date as if you're Princess Diana. You need to keep your standards so high and your self-worth so high that that does not define you or make you believe you deserve less. Our children are never mistakes, they're blessings. So you want to hold that dear and just know that life goes on. You can rebuild from this. You can still have a great life. You can still have partnership. You can still do great things. This does not define you and should not slow you down in any way, shape, or form. Trust yourself again. Open your heart up. Take a chance. I'm at the point where there's no more healing or personal work I can do. You know, these are my wounds, these are my triggers, this is my story. And I'm at the point now where it's like I have a great understanding of those things. So I know the type of partner that I need. I don't have to be perfect to get love. But now, since I'm aware of these things and I've done the healing and the inner work, I can express my needs more clearly. I can manage my triggers and I could find someone safe that I could try this again with. So keep your standards high because all high standards does is weed out the men who are not serious. No good man with sense is going to give up on a good woman because she's protecting herself with standards. If anything, he'll meet them. And if he can't meet them, he'll just move along. I knew this guy a long time ago, and we could never really get out of the talking phase. We had a very hard time getting on the same page. So obviously, we move on, life goes on. Years later, we run across each other and we reconnect, we catch up, we talk. And when we were talking about when we were trying to date, he said that, I was very untamable. Like I was not easy to tame. That's what he said to me. And I'm like, okay. And as our conversation went on, he was saying how, he was with a woman, they had a child together. And it wasn't until the child was about 1 years old, he found out that the kid wasn't his. And all I could think about was, I would never do that. Like, I would never do something like that. And yeah, maybe you could say I'm not easy to tame or whatever verbiage you want to use. But at the end of the day, no matter how untamable I may seem, I've never slept with two men in a 28-day cycle. Never. And I'm saying that to say having high standards is an investment, and good men will see it as an investment because you just wouldn't have to worry about that with certain women. But if you're looking for women or you're going with women who seem a little easier, like you could easily control them, you'll have problems later on down the line because they're not a good investment. So I'm saying that to say just keep your standards high. If you're a good woman, take note of those areas that make you a good woman, those internal things that make you a good woman, and hold on to that. And when men come into your life, they should have to meet those standards because you know how you're coming. You know what you're giving in a situation. You know the type of woman you are. You know the type of blessings that any man who connect with you will get. So don't lower your standards. Don't let negativity make you feel that you're less worthy of the things that you desire. While you're dating, you want to make sure that you're relaxed in your feminine energy. As single moms, we're so accustomed to doing, making sure everyone's straight, making sure everything's running well. We're always doing something. As you're navigating dating and dating purposefully and dating for marriage, you want to be very mindful to go about it in a feminine way. You want to use dating as that area in your life where you're totally relaxed and you're feminine. This way, you're not attracting men who like dating single moms because we can do a lot. You want to date men who are fully in their masculine, men who like to do, men who like to plan dates, men who likes to check up on you and make sure you're okay and just do. You don't want to get into that space where you're taking care of a man child, where you're so used to doing everything that it's like, okay, these men just come and it's just an extra person that you're doing something for. And when I say that, I'm not saying it in the sense that you shouldn't cater and submit to your man. I'm not saying that at all. I think that's very important to do that. And there is a thin line. But you want to submit and cater to men who are masculine, men who need it, you know, men who come and make your life easier, who are always doing, they're working, they're planning, they're organizing things, and they need your balance in their life. That's who you want to hook up with. Men who are so in their masculine that they need your feminine balance in their life. It's okay to initiate the chase. It's okay to let men know that you're open and available to start dating, but you want to let them do more of the heavy lifting, especially early on in the dating. You want to let them plan the dates. You want to let them initiate a lot of the conversations early on. You want to see if they are a man that's able to lead. My hope and prayer is that you do want to get married one day, that you do believe that it's possible to find a partner who will love you and love your children, that right now God is developing and creating the perfect match between you and a great man. That's my hope for all of us, for myself included, that we don't give up on love, that we still have faith and believe that it's possible for us, because family is so very important and it's so beautiful to partner up with someone and be in love and in partnership with someone and create and build a beautiful life and legacy with someone. That's all I have for today, and that concludes our Single Mom Soft Life series, focusing on mindset, money, and men. I hope that this was helpful and of service to you, and let me know what other topics you all would like me to discuss. Until next time, bye. That's all for today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed. If you love Spoken Like a True Goddess podcast, leave a rating and a review on the podcast app that you're tuning in on. I would love to hear from you. Be sure to follow us on all socials at Spoken Like a True Goddess. Also, if you would like sisterly advice from me, email your questions to sltgadvice@gmail.com. It will be answered on the pod with love and discretion, of course. Well, I'm excited for our next Girl Talk. Talk soon. Bye.